Welcome back to the World Equestrian Center in Ocala, Florida, where the intensity is going to get ramped up even more here in the 2024 DEKA Fit World Championship as we are set for our first elite teams race in the DEKA Mile format, starting with the elite female teams, as we'll have the co-ed teams and the male teams later on this afternoon. I am Xander Keene. He is Luke Halterman with a couple of wardrobe changes since we last saw you on the broadcast competing in your DEKA Mile in between our broadcasts here of the elite individual races in the elite mile. But this is going to be exciting. We've got a lot of familiar faces, a lot of people we've seen throughout the course of the weekend so far competing in this mile format, probably led by Tara Jackson and Marissa Pope.
Absolutely.
Tara, fresh off a world championship in the DEKA Mile. Marissa, a solid race for herself as well.
I believe top 10, yeah.
And excited to see them competing against a talented field.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I think the ladies on the list, there are a lot of teams on here that maybe people at home are obviously way more familiar with than maybe Xander and I based off here. But from what we see from the two top names is Tara and Marissa, and coming off both of their top 10 performances and Tara with the win, I like their chances at definitely being at the top of this one. Definitely considering, as you can see right here on the list and right in front of us, that Tara and Marissa coming in with the top seed time as well too. By a pretty significant margin, because the next team really we have here is, I believe, Bethany McChesney and Heather White, which actually I don't even see them on the list. But we do have them here on the list as far as competing-wise, and that is a team to look out for. Bethany McChesney is also a competitor who raced earlier today. I think finished just outside of the top 10, but we saw them yesterday during the fit. We saw definitely what they're capable of, and Heather White with the assault bike, She-Hulk herself, or Wonder Woman, whatever you want to claim her as a superhero, they should put on a good, at least, competition for Marissa and Tara Jackson today.
Yeah, you see Tara Jackson herself is responsible for the two top seed times, kind of like what we saw on the men's side with Kevin Gregory, just qualifying and putting up a solid time regardless of who their partner is. But, yeah, it'll be interesting to see Bethany and Heather. Again, they had a solid showing, maybe not quite what they wanted, as they were the defending champions in the elite DEKA Fit female team. Didn't come out on top in that race yesterday, but they're ready to bring it. That's a team where you've got one run specialist, one station specialist, and excited to see how that strategy plays out compared to, this Tara and Marissa that might be a little bit more balanced in terms of their output.
Yeah, and actually, and I apologize as far as teams being close. The next fastest team would be Adrian Goley and Allison Zartman. I'm not familiar with those ladies. I haven't seen them race personally, so I couldn't put a picture to the face. But they were only 30 seconds behind, if that, as far as Marissa. So they're going to be a fun team to watch, and I'm excited to see if they're podium contenders. But a group of ladies I do know personally, Ashley and Christy Dutton. They will be wearing the pinks. They are from Bowler, Texas. I've seen them in competitions. So I've held a couple road shows with them. Look for them. They are normally age group competitors, but they decided to dive into the elite. So we have more age groupers wanting to compete into the elite field. So this should be exciting. They're phenomenal at the station work.
Yeah, the team format always spices things up a little bit more. I know you have a lot of experience competing in team situations. And so with a DEKA Mile, what's the common approach there? Because we see with DEKA Fit, it kind of is straightforward where oftentimes you're going to split the run 50-50, you split the station work as well. The mile's a little bit different because there's not, there's only one lap of the run, so it's not like you can trade off in that way. So the setup is a little bit different for how a team might split things up.
Yeah, in the mile, I think you can get away with it a little bit more of specializing as far as having one person do all the station work and one person doing all the running. Maybe from the same gender aspect, maybe not so much. Co-ed for sure we'll see that, or at least you will on the screen while I'm competing. But as far as the females, I think we'll see more of that maybe from a Heather White and Bethany McChesney standpoint. I wouldn't be surprised if Heather does do a couple of the runs and maybe Bethany does maybe a couple of stations. But you're right. You can't split the runs. Someone's going to have to commit to it. You still run the first run and last run together as a team, just like as you would in the fit. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see more athletes do the entire station. Definitely maybe from the repetition standpoint. Now, as far as the ergs and the assault bike, unless you have one person who can dominate, prepare to see some trade-off on that.
Yeah, definitely, especially the the skier with it being so much easier than the rower or
Right.
some of the other machines to transition. But, we've seen it play out. We've heard from several athletes. I know, Grayson Kilgore and Katie Duke, who we've now spoke to 3 times over the course of the weekend, they talk about all the little things, whether it's fueling, whether it's transition times and things like that.
Right.
And as the races get shorter, those kind of uncounted seconds or unfactored in seconds where you're not actually working or you're not actually running, those matter even more because these races are now getting close down to 15 minutes.
Yes.
And the little things are going to matter that much more.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be fun to watch each team's strategy today going into this. They have very much discussed it, I'm sure, each and every team. And then it's a matter of who's going to call an audible when a teammate, falters a little bit. And are you going to take more of the brunt work, or do you just kind of pace it out? But for a podium contention, you just can't do that. So if a teammate does slow down, another teammate's going to have to step in and hopefully carry the intensity.
And like we've talked about with the individual races this morning, with the DEKA Mile, all the qualifying races are done, at sort of individual gym events. And so you're not necessarily racing against other teams at the same level at the same time. So this is really the only time all year where you have an entire field of similar ability with this many people all racing at the same time. Now, we did hear there might be situations where you might be qualifying with somebody. I know Grayson Kilgore and Rylan Shattuck actually put up their DEKA Mile individual times together on the same weekend. Don't know if they were racing at the time, but for DEKA Mile, especially in this team format, this is the only time you're going to have 10 teams out there at the same time, and that certainly changes things, and it'll be interesting to see how all those different strategies play out in this format.
Yeah, and, this is why I like to call this weekend the WrestleMania of fitness, because this is going to be the first race. I mean, you can kind of see it in the fit a little bit, but you're a little bit more broad as far as the runs and stuff. There is such a tight corner of running that 160 meters. You're going to see a lot of elbows being thrown. You're going to see a lot of jostling for positions. Who's going to be the team decide to take it out hot? Who's going to be fighting to get in there first? So this is where Yancey loves the DEKA Mile team format, and I couldn't agree more. This is going to be very exciting.
Yeah, we saw it a little bit even in the individual races with those 180-degree turns, kind of some athletes using the barrier there to help them around the corner. Well, especially the first run and even the last one, you've got double the amount of people on the course at the same time. So that will be very spicy. Who knows if we'll see a photo finish like we saw last night in the men's relay or men's
I want to
team.
see it. I want to see it. Let's make it spicy. Throw some elbows, people. Come on. Just like the track days. Let's go.
And again, the DEKA Mile, if you're just tuning in for the first time, similar, more or less the same stations. There are a couple of nuances as far as the setup compared to the DEKA Fit. Again, just making it more suitable for the individual gym formats. But same setup, 10 zones. It's just the difference from yesterday was 500 meters of running in between each one. Now it's 160. So like we said, you're not splitting the runs. It's only one essentially loop with 2 180-degree turns. And so a lot less time as we now get a look at some of the ruck division.
We got the ruck. Yeah, all right. Showing
teams
some love
out
for the
there.
ruck. Yeah, we got Jared Newby, I believe, competing in all the ruck categories. That man is Mr. Ruck himself. I don't think there's a single soul out there who can beat Jared Newby in any type of ruck format. I mean, it could be a 15-mile just straight running with a ruck. And I believe he holds the half marathon world record, which I believe is like an hour and 20, an hour and 24, an hour and 26. I mean, something absolutely absurd. And I think it's with the 60-pound ruck. So maybe it's more an hour 30, but either way, very impressive. I'm sure Jared Newby is very much ahead in this race at the moment. I see Daniel Hickman, of course, running. He's also a stellar athlete. I recently jumped on his podcast with him for a competitive edge. And of course, some more underdog fitness.
And it's not just the weight. It'd be one thing if you had a 20 or 30-pound weight vest. With the ruck specifically, as you're going through these movements, it's way different.
There's Newby right there.
It's all on your back, and it's just it's awkward.
It's very awkward, yeah. And I think the only station that's different with the ruck, I've only done it once with the fit format. Oh, and the mile, actually. I take that back. I did qualify for the mile, actually. I should be out there right now, Xander, but I'm definitely not going to suffer any more than I have to for the Elite Co-Ed coming up. But the only station that involves the actual backpack itself is you do the setups with the backpack opposed to a medicine ball. Other than that, you just pretty much have the backpack on you for the rest of the entirety of the race. So
Yeah, it's nonstop action. Obviously, we're covering the elite heats, both individual and team, so we get little breaks, but there's no break on the course. It's constant motion, starting a couple hours even before we got underway this morning.
Right.
And all the way through the evening with the elite men DEKA Mile closing out the day as the last race. So, yeah, it's great to see just age group competitors. So many people here competing in multiple events over the course of the weekend with relays and individuals as well. We can see some of the athletes finishing up their age group heats here on the burpees, and they are just as much in the pain cave, if not more, than the elite competitors that we saw earlier today.
It looks like the older gentlemen. I get asked all the time. Everyone messages me, which I should always direct them towards Jason because it's always about OCR Report. When are you going to show any love to the age group competitors, this and that? And I tell them all the time, I said, listen, I'm sure we would love to commentate for all age group races. Just all the races are so jam-packed, and you have to be set on such a time schedule. There's no way we would be able to qualify or to commentate for all of those by any means. But to have some live output right here, honestly, for everyone at home, I understand travel is hard to come by sometimes, but the best way to see your loved one compete is just to come to the race and just watching yourself right live right in front of you, right? So, but either way, Jason does the best he can. OCR Report, we're obviously thankful to even have OCR Report, or else we would have no live feed at all by any means for any elite category. So shout out to Jason Dupree and OCR Report. Make sure you subscribe. Go like them on Instagram. And I'm about to host a contest as well, too, for a couple free DEKA Fit races for 2025. I'll announce that, of course, on the social media page, Luke_Ninja_Skywalker, for some free races.
I'll tell you what, this is a great venue for DEKA Fit. Obviously,
this is an awesome venue.
I was here in September, kind of doing a one-man show for the live feed there and competing myself right back in the same exact building here for World Championships. But we can't see it here, but our stream is up on a video board.
Yeah, it's awesome.
On the screen, there's also kind of the time splits on the center scoreboard there.
Yeah.
It's the perfect size because there's plenty of space. It's not too cramped as far as the area around the course. Now, obviously, the DEKA Mile doesn't take up as much space as the Fit, but even yesterday, there's plenty of room to operate, but it's not like you're in a massive convention center where you get lost amongst other things or just a cavernous building. It's like the perfect size for the space needed for DEKA Fit, and I think just everyone being pretty close together for the whole weekend just adds to the ambiance. For
Absolutely, yeah. This is by far the best venue DEKA Fit has ever hosted a race in, and for those that obviously crap on DEKA for every now and then about getting certain convention centers and stuff, I'll tell you what, you're missing out on being part of this one because even the whole site of the World Equestrian Center is massive, absolutely massive. And you're seeing all these tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of horses that are around here as well, too, hosting their own little competitions. It's right around Christmas time, so it's very decorative at the moment. Last night, as my wife and I were driving out of the center, on the big screen over by the stadium, they had, a fire log thing coming up with all the lights. It's just absolutely beautiful. So this is a fantastic World Championship venue right here.
And if you're trying to get down early for a shakeout run or a cool down or something, I mean, this is an underrated sort of running and endurance sports paradise here in Central Florida. Maybe about a half hour away from here is where I've been running the last couple mornings before we come up, and just
you're very familiar
great
with this
greenways and trails, and it's just a great setup, fairly centrally located, close to Orlando and Tampa. So we'll be right back here in February. I think the next full-on DEKA Fit event will be right back in this building. So
that's
excited to see.
And you're going to see Xander Keene line up for the Ultra Elite. Watch out, folks.
Unofficial yet, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I'll be about 4 weeks off a marathon at that point. So Luke's trying to convince me. I think we're about 10 minutes away from this elite relay getting underway. We got some more looks at the last few age group heats with these gentlemen here on their burpees. You can see the ruck divisions as well. I see the top few competitors on the tank push and pull. So we'll probably get a look at Jared Newby finishing up here momentarily.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you see, actually he's running into the burpee pit right now in that red tank top as he's running in. And the thing with Jared Newby, I know he's all in on the ruck division. Anything ruck related, the man wants to hold all the records and get it. And he's such a humble guy. He is such a nice person. I'm surprised to not see him more in the more hybrid stuff. And, he's dived into the ruck division at High Rocks, and I think he's done a couple of single High Rocks races as well, too. But, I'm surprised not to see him in more of this type of stuff. He's done a couple of DEKA fits as well, too. But, I think he's just going to hone in what he specializes and keep it there, which, again, I don't blame him. But, man, Jared Newby is definitely one hell of an athlete and definitely well respected in this community.
Yeah, what speaks to his performance is you can see Daniel Hickman kind of in the light shorts. He just went off screen.
Yeah.
He's a strong athlete in his own right, an age group competitor, and does a lot of these ruck divisions as well. And Jared is far enough ahead of him to be well onto his burpees. So, I don't know what the time is here. Obviously, we haven't been covering the whole race, but Jared is throwing down as he is about halfway done at least before the next ruck competitor comes in.
I guarantee he holds a faster time than maybe the top 10 elite male. I mean, honestly, that's how fast Jared Newby is. And he wears the perfect, obviously, ruck pack for that. As you can see, the top two men wearing the very appropriate and very probably expensive ruck pack, where a lot of guys wear backpacks, honestly, where this one's really tight to your chest, really tight on your stomach as well, too, which is super ideal. And the thing about doing these burpees, what sucks is when you go down, that plate coming up right into hitting your head every single time. It sucks. When you already think that you're going to pass out just due to your anaerobic threshold, why not just get hit in the head by a 30-pound weighted plate,
So there it is, Jared Newby coming across.
Congrats. I'm glad we got that finish there on the ruck.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, perfect timing.
That's awesome. Now, there's Daniel Hickman coming in at third. I'm not sure who this gentleman is in second. Actually, probably look it up real quick. Yeah, I'm not too familiar. But he looks to be moving pretty. And he looks like a strong athlete, too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing with the ruck division, obviously it's added weight, but the weight itself isn't scaled. So if you're someone like Jared Newby who's got a pretty big frame for an endurance athlete, obviously that weight is a smaller percentage of your overall body weight, which definitely helps. And Daniel Hickman, obviously strong as well. You can see him on the left and the other athlete in second place, who unfortunately we're not exactly sure who it is, but a great effort being put out by our ruck division podium competitors here. And then on the inset screen, he's at it again, Dave Claxton, with the pre-race briefing for our elite female team
answering any last questions, of course, which is great, because there may be a few ladies that have yet to compete, right? So it is definitely smart to just go over with it. I'd hate for anyone to make any mistake and leave it in the judge's hand. We see it in national sports all the times where the refs have to make that tough call at the end, right? Actually, we saw it last night. Dave had to make that tough call, but it was the correct call nonetheless. Powell seemed to be in good spirits because of it, which is completely fine. And I did see Alphonse out in the age group, by the way. He was running out there while I was. So I don't know if he just missed the qualification time or if it was a personal choice to do age group instead. So the Spaniards are still here, apparently. So,
yeah, we saw Alphonse in the age group heat, and then obviously another European, Tanya, stepping into the elite individual female, kind of a late addition, taking that open spot, and she was, I think, right around sixth place or so. So very strong performances from them so far today, and we are just about set to get underway here. The teams are at the start line. So obviously the next few ruck division competitors coming in, but we will momentarily turn our attention to the reason for the season here with this broadcast. As you can see, some of our top teams.
This will be a little bit harder, Xander, because we don't get the split times with this of who maybe Adrian and Allison are. So if anyone is watching this at home, please let us indicate which maybe color shirt they are. They very well could be the underdog people. They could be the lady in the yellow and black right there. Very distinctly, we know who Tara and Marissa are, and we definitely know who Bethany and Heather are.
Heather in the matching
always
tops.
Matching.
So if you're new, Tara and Marissa are both wearing black tops and black bottoms, and then Bethany and Heather kind of the matching magenta tops and black shorts. So those are, we expect to be the top two teams, but we'll see.
Oh. The event starts at 11. Oh, the men. Okay. Oh, the men start at 11:22. I assume that's for tomorrow. Because we are well past 11:22. Oh, Rob Flores, yes. 5:07.
5:07.
5:07 Eastern time. Sorry, a little confusion there. And then you can see the ladies in the pink right behind Marissa and Bethany and them. That's Ashley and Christy. Christy to the left, Ashley to the right. That's maybe another team to watch out for here. Not the strongest runners, but fantastic on the station.
So here we go. Our elite female DEKA mile team race is underway.
All right.
And a lot of humanity on the course right now. Again, the first and last run are done together, and it's that much more intense when it's a 160. And, you know, with a bit of a shorter run, someone who's more strong on the stations like Heather White can really burn that match. If she knows that she's only got to run about 320 meters, maybe she'll do one more.
As you can see her right there in the front.
Yeah, so kind of leading the way.
Not surprised to see. We'll probably see the same thing as we did with the individual Xander, where it will be pretty jam-packed a little bit at the beginning. I think from a qualification time-wise, we may see some separation a little bit earlier as far as maybe first and second place. But I'm hoping to see a pretty respectful race maybe for third and fourth as well, putting on a show for us.
And I'm interested to see how Marissa and Tara decide to split this up.
Yes.
You know, because it's not as, again, we've seen Bethany and Heather compete together a lot. Saw them yesterday in the DEKA Fit, and we know that Bethany is strong running background. Heather is an animal on the stations, and so we'd expect Heather to do the majority of the station work.
Oh,
but
Marissa.
In this case, we saw Marissa do the lunges and then the run.
Wow, interesting. So I wonder now if Tara is going to do the entire row because of that, which honestly isn't a bad strategy. That's what me and my buddy Caleb Yates have done. Marissa is a fantastic runner and sprinter. As you can tell, they lost a little bit of positioning to the other two teams in front, but Tara is fantastic on the rower. But shout out to the other two teams right now who just moved in the first and second.
Absolutely, some separation, and Bethany McChesney's coming in fourth.
So we have the underdog tent right in front of us. Hey, Tyson.
So you can see here Tara Jackson right in front, fresh off an individual DEKA mile champion. She is hammering this row. Again, the decision point comes, do you transition at any point or not on the rower? Because of the machines, this is the one that takes the most time to transition. Because you got to hook your feet in and obviously step up, as opposed to the skier where you can more or less keep the machine going if you switch off every 100 meters or so. So we appreciate the help from those of you in the comment section. Again, a lot of athletes competing in this team format have not competed in the elite races so far this weekend, so we're not as used to seeing them as some of the others. So we'll do our best to get the confirmation, the identification. Absolutely.
An underdog athlete, Tyson just told me that is Jenna and Taylor with the red hair and the tattoo. So the blue tank and the red-haired lady right there, that is Jenna and Taylor.
So they're one of the top teams coming in as well. And so far, Tara Jackson and Heather White, as we expected, doing the entirety of this row. Not sure what either one of them is pulling right now, but they are definitely working. Wouldn't be surprised if Heather White is in the low 140s at this point.
Absolutely, yeah. We know what type of moves she can make on the machines. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it out there that the team behind Tara right there is probably Adrian and Allison based off their qualification time. You know, they're definitely going to be up there. So, but Tara obviously killed it on the rower. Marissa back out on the run. Now, Marissa is fantastic on the box overs. Does she run and do the box overs? I think she will. Actually.
And that's their strategy so far has been that one of them doing a run and then a station, which kind of almost gives the other one more recovery than if you had a run specialist and a station specialist.
And Tara hasn't ran yet other than the first run. Yep. So, and Marissa's coming in as expected, but Tara's about to take this next run. So have the gray top and blue shorts, I believe. Okay, so gray top, blue shorts, Allie Z.
That'd be Ali Zartman.
Okay, yeah, and Adrian.
Gully.
Okay, so the team that was on the opposite end on the rower. Okay, thank you guys at home. All right, shout out to Aaron Barker as well too. I love the support that we're seeing online. This is the World Championships. Give your athletes some love. All right, Tara Jackson taking it out. Already with some separation. Uh-oh. Did they run into it? Oh, no, that was – Noel dropped the camera. I think it was his phone, too.
We got a gimbal malfunction here.
Oh, no.
And you can see Marissa already set up, getting tagged on the foot, saving every possible
I love
second.
It. You know, I also have taken that strategy into account, and you'll see me and Bree do the same thing.
And look at Marissa, and I expect maybe Tara will take this run again to save the time of having to stand up. We'll see.
White and blue Kristens. Okay, so Kristen, the Kristen team's right there in fourth, battling top four right now. So shout out to them right now. They're doing fantastic. They're over there by Bethany Heather White, excuse me.
And Tara Jackson right out there back on the run. So that's a strategy planned out, right? Understanding, the dynamic of the station where you've got someone doing sit-ups, they're on the ground, so you can save a couple of seconds if Tara does 2 runs in a row.
Right.
Marissa never really has to get up while they're on the clock, so to speak.
Well, Tara is surging right now.
I wonder maybe, this might be a chance for them to split up the ski and kind of reset for the second half of this race.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I love this team format because, this is an opportunity. Obviously, there's twice as many athletes in the field, but, there's more opportunity for athletes who otherwise may not qualify individually in elite. They get their opportunity to race against the best in the sport and really see where they stand.
Yeah, it is definitely fun watching the teams. It's fun to learn new people, see new faces that we're just not familiar with, seeing on an occurring basis. It's awesome. It's awesome to see that.
You can see Tara getting ready to transition. There they go.
Heather White, of course, going to make a move here. You got Aaron and Sam, also Adrian and Allison, and then Taylor and Jenna. So that is our top 5 positions right now.
And Kristen there in the white and blue.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, the two KK. We'll call them Team KK.
Now Marissa Pope getting ready to take over from Tara Jackson again. So they're switching. And so Heather will give Bethany
a
little bit of time to work.
A lot of team K squared love in the feed right now. I love it. Yeah, I think this is a very easy station to transition in. I think it's smart to do it. It doesn't even appear Heather White is doing the majority of the work on this one either. So it's smart.
Yep. Yeah, it looks like
save some energy.
I think Tara and Marissa pretty much switching off every 100 meters.
Right.
And, you get then that 20-second or so break.
Right.
Then you can really go hard for the amount of time that you're working.
Yeah, I think it's smart. Let's see what type of a lead they still have. So they do have an official name, Team Square or K Square, excuse me.
All right, 8:08, Marissa Pope back out on the run. So looks like it'll be close to about a 10-second lead.
Yeah, they have definitely pushed themselves away early. And no surprise. I mean, these 2 women are very elite. I mean, Tara Jackson, obviously the best ever female DEKA Fit athlete. So,
and it's not necessarily one station where it happens. It's just over the course of the race, 5 seconds here, 4 seconds there. All of a sudden you get to the halfway part of the race, and they're now 20 seconds in front.
Yeah, which is huge in a DEKA mile.
And now Tara Jackson's got the dumbbells, so.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they're about 3 or 4 in before.
Yeah, I can see Bethany about to come in now.
Yeah, Bethany and Team K Squared battling for that 2nd and 3rd spot right now.
Yep, so There's Team K-Squared going back and forth. Heather White on the other side. So Tara and Marissa did switch.
Heather will probably do the entire farmer carry, would be my guess. This is actually pretty close race. I mean, I think Tara and Marissa are going to run away with this. But as far as second to fourth to fifth place, this is anyone's game right now.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. So Marissa finished the farmer's carry, went back out on the run. So now Tara's going to at least start the bike.
Right.
I'd expect Heather to do the entire bike for their team.
Right.
It probably have a faster bike split. We saw Heather do a 1 minute in the team race with Bethany last night. And so the question becomes, especially if Tara and Marissa switch, that's going to add 3-4 seconds to their time.
Right.
So how much of this 20 or so second gap can Heather pull back? We're about to find out, and that's going to be, I think, the turning point of this race.
All right,
so
this is going to be a big difference maker right here.
With Tara Jackson starting the bike.
I think Tara will pull away quite a bit, and she may do the entire bike.
And it looks like Bethany's actually going to start on the bike.
All right, so K-Squared in second place. Bethany starting the bike. Interesting strategy here. Let's see if maybe get 20 seconds in and then Heather switches out, finishes strong, or?
So there's a transition. Tara finishes, now Marissa starts. You can see Tara Jackson doubled over. I mean, when you're only doing 10, 12 cals, you can work that much harder. And so now with the bike ramped up, Heather White,
there we go.
Look at that teamwork. Bethany adjusting the seat to make sure that Heather with a much longer frame can work efficiently. And, you can see just the difference in movement between Marissa Pope, who's selling out for sure, and now Heather White really getting cranked up to finish this off. So Tara's back out on the run. Our first place team is still in first place.
Dang, Heather is killing it right now. Let's see how much of a move they made on Team K-Squared behind, who I don't know if they've been switching off or not. You got Taylor on the bike right next to her. They've just moved into second. All right.
Yeah, so strong work there from Heather White to finish it off. And an interesting strategy for Heather to do the run, which let Bethany get the bike started for her teammate. And that, I think, might have been the move to take second place.
It
Still some of this race to go, but it looks like now Tara Jackson and Marissa Pope have separated. Tara tagging in her teammate here for the ball over shoulders as we hit the 12-minute mark of this race.
Yeah, I mean, it comes at no surprise when we have seen the elite athletes who do the elite races on a continuous basis obviously pull away at some point, right? Because the experience they have, and all these other teams, not that they didn't do elite races by any means, but it's stuff that they will learn in due time of where the strategy lies, where they need to push it. Tara and Marissa are very familiar with it, and Heather and Bethany are very familiar with it. So no surprise that they pulled away at that point right there. But it's still anyone's game. Anything can happen. I've seen crazier things. So,
and you can see Tara Jackson finishing up as our third-place team K-Squared comes in. So that's the difference right there. Now, first place, a full station ahead of third.
And then you got Taylor and Jenna right there battling with Team K-Squared for third.
This could be a burpee off for the podium, that's for sure.
And then we got Adrian and Allison right there. Good. All right, I'm ready for a show. Let's do some burpees.
But we got the sled push and pull first.
Let's, Heather actually moved that sled pretty easily yesterday too. Let's not count out Heather and Bethany quite yet, actually.
Yeah, and we'd imagine they'll trade off a little bit. I'd expect Bethany to do at least one, if not two. But
for sure,
Tara and Marissa, same thing. They've obviously been sharing the work wherever they can, which we've seen be the successful strategy on these team races so far. So Tara's going to do the first two. Pretty much a full length ahead, but with how easily Heather White is moving that sled, she's going to do her best.
Tara Jackson did not beat Lauren Weeks.
So Tara did not compete yesterday in individual. Right. So Tara opting to only focus on the mile and possibly the strong tomorrow. So Lauren Weeks ran away with the individual race yesterday, and that was the
would have been a fun battle to watch, though.
Absolutely. That was the only race that Lauren competed in. I think she was signed up with her husband Anthony to do the co-ed teams, but he wasn't able to make it. That would have been great. Absolutely. I mean, imagine, with what we saw with Grayson Kilgore, Katie Duke, and then Kat Fossbender and Kevin Gregory. You
Right,
throw
right.
Lauren and Anthony in that mix, that would have been incredible.
Fun. Maybe next year.
Absolutely. So Tara Jackson back on the sled.
It seems like Tara and Marissa are still keeping their lead.
And Bethany has taken over here from Heather.
Yeah, I think they're doing a 2-1-2 like they did yesterday.
Yeah,
I think
Heather's
is a great strategy. Yeah.
So it looks like Tara and Marissa, I believe, are still full length ahead. So with the sled, it's 5 down and 5 back.
Mm-hmm.
So it adds up to 100 meters total. It's a 10-meter distance.
Yeah, the weight is 165 pounds, and that's standard with anybody in any division. It's resistance-based. And for women, it's set at a resistance 7. So if you ever happen to see that sled, it's at a 7 for women, 8 for men, and 5 for the kids.
So Bethany McChesney's taken over from Heather White, presumably to give Heather a little bit of rest before this last run and then the burpees.
Yeah, they did a 2-1-1-1 yesterday, not a 2-1-2.
You can see Marissa Pope's got plenty in her legs.
Yeah,
she's even pulling away from her teammate, Tara Jackson.
You know, I believe this will be Marissa Pope's first victory because she got podium with Keaton all last year, but I don't think that they didn't win any of them. So this will be her first victory. This is pretty exciting.
So our top team, Marissa Pope and Tara Jackson. Marissa has plenty in the tank for these burpees, and I'd imagine she'll trade off to Tara at some point, but
Tara going
well on their way.
2.
Absolutely.
Another world title for Tara Jackson, which is, I don't know if this is her first team world title out of all the years she's done it. I don't think she's ever dived in on teams, which could be a part of the reason why we didn't see her yesterday because of the 2 races today.
So it looks like we're going to get one step up on the podium for Bethany McChesney and Heather White after a 3rd place yesterday.
Yeah, great performance from them too, which I don't know if they're doing strong together as a team tomorrow or not. But they're a pretty solid team together. Here we go, last rep.
So there we go. Tara Jackson sets the ram down, and your DEKA Mile Elite Female Team Champions, Tara Jackson and Marissa Pope, 16:30 and change. A strong performance from them, as now it looks like the podium will be solidified with Heather White and Bethany McChesney finishing up. And
yeah, we got Team K Squared and then Taylor and Jenna, who has maybe anywhere between 5 to 8 rep lead. I don't know if Team Squared can make that up, but anything is possible. Taylor's moving. It seems that K Squared is moving. We also have Adrian and Allison in the back there.
But there it is, a second place finish for Bethany McChesney and Heather White. Their second podium as a team of the weekend. Yeah. I'd imagine they'll be in the strong as well, although we'll see. But yeah, strong showing from them. The split half American, half Canadian team, Bethany and Heather, once again with some hardware and some cash.
Oh, here we go. Here's the battle for 3rd. I believe the team underdog is ahead. But the question is by how much? They got 3 more reps left. I see hands up for Team K Squared as well. Oh.
One more transition for Team Underdog.
Who's going to get it? Oh, Team K Squared taking 3rd. Wow.
What a finish.
Wow.
And 4 and 5 right back to back.
Wow.
So once again, an exciting finish, a burpee off deciding podium positions. And Kristen Fries and Kristen Avery, Team K Squared, getting it done, sticking their nose in it with these top teams with the previous World Championship pedigrees, and they get on the podium. Yeah, that's got to be a great feeling.
I think they came in 5 burpees down, pretty close to it. They flew on the burpees. Congrats to them. And they have a strong presence right now in the live feed, so I'm sure everyone at home is jumping up and down for them. So congratulations to them, and excited to see them in the future. Hopefully we see a little bit more of them.
Absolutely. Now kind of the back half of the top 10 here finishing up. It's only 19 minutes, but it's 19 painful minutes that these teams have experienced at this point.
You're not wrong about that. These ladies put in good work, obviously, throughout the year to qualify. A few of them may have gotten the roll down for elite, which is completely fine. It's within the rules, but at the same time, you make the decision, do we go for age group or do we just say screw it and just try out for elite for once, right? I will say the biggest benefit of elite, obviously it pays out, but two, you get coverage.
Absolutely.
You get the coverage and you get the shout out. So congrats to that team right there, the White Tanks. Here's the team in pink, Christy and Ashley. Phenomenal team. These two are the ones that I know probably prefer to stay in the age group division, but I love that they put their nose in on elite. So Ashley, Christy's the one who currently is doing the burpees. I believe she was a Triple Crown winner last year in her age group. I don't think she's ever lost in her age group division. And Ashley was a former CrossFit Game athlete, and she owns a CrossFit gym out in Boulder, Texas. So they are very decorative athletes in their own.
That explains why they worked through the burpees very quickly there to finish off that race.
They're just the running, I think, for the most part, but they will be teaming up and strong, and I don't doubt that they won't win their age group tomorrow.
So we got our last couple teams here on the burpees, and just tight groupings, not too much more than 15, 20 seconds between any teams all the way through, obviously with Tara and Marissa and then Bethany and Heather kind of separating from the rest of the field. But after that, very competitive here in this elite female team DEKA mile.
Yeah, slowest time 20:33. That's flying. So great showing. Not sure if that was a world record or not. And actually, you know what? I guess I should look that up. 16:30 something, I believe.
Yeah, they were 16:35 or so. I think we'll probably have the times shortly, but there's a look there at our champions, Tara Jackson and Marissa Pope, with one of last night's men's relay champions, James Muscart there. 16:37 is the chip time for Tara Jackson and Marissa Pope. 40 seconds. They separated kind of about halfway through the race.
The winning time last year was 17:26. So a substantial difference for the winning time.
Maybe not a world record, but again, gym setups are different. So comparing it to last year's World Championship time, which is going to be a similar setup, and that goes to show, Bethany and Heather themselves faster than that 17:20 something. So
I'm sorry. Yeah, they had a faster qualifying time than that. So, but as far as a standardized course, this was probably the fastest female mile time we have seen. So,
yeah, just impressive all around from these teams. Again, led by Tara Jackson, Marissa Pope. And then you look at the time gaps, pretty close, 20, 30 seconds with most of these other teams all the way down.
Yeah, all solid performances from these ladies.
So everywhere you look, there's an Underdog Fitness shirt in the background of every single shot.
It's in every
Shows
shot.
You the representation. Their tent is right across.
Might as well just submit
the aisle from our setup here.
Absolutely. Actually, Jason, can you pull that? Can you pull the top 10 back up again for me? Okay. I apologize. That was not Team K Squared that got third place. That was Adrian and Allison who got third place. So I think it was those tank tops there towards the end that may have been Team K Squared. So when I saw that, I apologize. So as you rewatch, we apologize. We got they were wearing the same exact colors. So Adrian and Allison, congratulations on your third place finish. They came in with the second fastest qualifying time.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
no surprise to see them, of course, in third place right there. So
and outlasting fourth and fifth, only 10 seconds behind them.
Right. Yeah, they flew on those burpees at the end. They really did. So Team K Squared, you got a lot of love because we thought obviously you were the other team. So we apologize for people at home, but nonetheless, seventh place for them. That's great.
Yeah, we appreciate the intel from everyone watching along at home. The problem is that people are wearing the same color tops and bottoms. It can be tough to identify. But obviously, we're more familiar with the competitors that we've seen competing in either the elite individual races or the team relays last night. And, there are some exciting new names that we're learning now. And that's the cool part about this team format that we'll continue to see over the course of the weekend. But, yeah, Tara Jackson and Marissa Pope there. Again, as we see with, any top team, they had a game plan. They executed it. they didn't have one runner and one stationer.
Right.
They split it up.
Right.
They kind of maximized the recovery and transition times wherever they could. I think the one thing, and it was right around when they really took command of this race, kind of around zone 4, zone 5. The one thing that stood out to me was how, Tara was doing run 4 and Marissa already on the ground, obviously ready to do the sit-ups, but she kicked her left foot in the air to get tagged to, take a split second there.
Any physical contact works.
And then Tara did the next run, so Marissa never really had to get up until after Tara was already on the run, and she could then take her time. It's like little things like that stacked up over the course of 20 different transitions that can help you pull away, and ultimately they sort of took that lead, ran with it to win against a very strong team, a former world champion team, at least in the DEKA Fit, in Bethany McChesney and Heather White, who they were coming, and Heather, they did work on the bike, but it was enough for Tara and Marissa to maintain that lead and win by 40 seconds.
Yeah, not by any means a cakewalk for a win for them, but at the same time, I don't think they had to change up their strategy for a chance of victory by any means. So I think they stuck exactly what they wrote down on paper, and therefore they got a very fast time in the process.
Yeah, they went out hard at the beginning, but they weren't necessarily the first team, out of the lunges or anything like that. Just it's hard to say that you can ease into a race that's this short, but that whatever you gain by really hammering to your absolute fastest at the very beginning, that's going to cost you later on.
Absolutely.
And we saw that in the individual. We were talking to Katie Duke and Grayson Kilgore after their races, and Katie was saying, well, look, I know what Tara can do. I don't want to be in front of her on the first run. And so the two of them in the individual race, they were back in, 5th and 6th place. And we saw that here where Tara and Marissa were near the front, but they didn't pull away early. They waited to get through, kind of made a move on the rower, and then that progressed over the course of the race.
Right. Yeah, another world title for Tara. What's new? So congrats to her, and congrats to Marissa's first world title. If she didn't do any age group world titles, but definitely from an elite standpoint, I'm pretty confident in saying that. So congrats to her. This is awesome. Yeah, let's go get thank you. All right, we're going to get Tara and Marissa over here for an interview. All right, good to know, Shane. Adrian and Allie, now that we know they got third. It does make it a little bit harder that for the splits, usually helps us with the names and how we
for the DEKA Fit, it is nice.
But we don't have a timing, Matt. I don't think they lay out for each station, so it doesn't pop up on screen.
I told them for the interview.
I know that woman.
Well, we got a rabbit making their way over. Hopefully they're bringing athletes.
Yeah.
So 3 races in today on the elite side. It's been an outstanding day of racing. I was about to say morning, but it's 2:00 p.m. These days fly by.
They go.
It is nice, at least from our standpoint, not having to be on the air right at 8 a.m. A lot of the age group, they do the female age group categories first, and then they get to the elite races after that. So the day's already
and each day
well underway.
Too. Yeah. We're just waiting on Tara and Marissa at the moment.
So we're seeing if they're going to come over.
Which would be good because we didn't get an interview with Tara for an individual win, so that would be good.
Absolutely. And this weekend, this day is just getting started. We're, more or less at the halfway mark of the elite races. They're getting shorter. They're getting more intense.
Yep, absolutely.
The co-ed, which is maybe one of the most fun elite races coming up next. You yourself will be in it.
Oh, yep. I like my chances, me and Bree. Yeah, let's do that.
Sure, yeah. We'll pull up the replay. Jason Dupree doing yeoman's work cutting these replays together during the broadcast.
Yeah, thank you.
So you can see here just an absolute
hard
160 to start the race. Absolutely, everybody at the same time.
Competitors, it's awesome.
You can see the top 2 teams that eventually made it as the top 2 were.
Oh, little push and positioning there. See, I like that. You don't want to go too wide on the turns. This is where Tara made her move.
Yeah, and I think
where I don't think they didn't see they were just in first the entire race after that.
Yeah, and Tara and Marissa, being toward the lead the whole race, getting first choice of where to go for all the stations was helpful. And then here's the move we talked about with Marissa with the foot up, and then just going straight into those sit-ups.
Yeah, smart. Yep. I like that technique. I mean, it is just any body contact. I always tell people on my roadshow, if you want to just pop them on the ass for a little bit too, that's completely fine. Just as long as there's some sort of contact to show that now that athlete is in position to do a station or the run. You just got to make it very apparent.
Absolutely. And the fact that, because they had first choice, they sort of set it up so that Tara was running in, and she didn't have to stop and turn and then tag her teammate. So, again, an example of those little things.
I'll be surprised to see if Grayson and Katie do that. I bet you they have a strategy if they happen to be on the right side, a strategy if they happen to be on the left side.
And the assault bike, we expected Heather and Bethany to put in a strong bike, and they did. We obviously don't have a split time, but I think they made up a little bit of time on it. Tara and Marissa, by splitting it up, they really were able to go to the well, but save enough to finish off the race. So really riding that line on the bike where you need to go hard, but you don't want to tip over. And they seem to do just what they needed to solidify that victory. But, yeah, Heather White going to work.
Yeah, look at that.
It wasn't quite the 1 minute split she did herself. Obviously, she split this one up with Bethany, but that allowed them to solidify second place. So, maybe Tara and Marissa were too far out of reach, but they were able to make that move on the bike to make sure that they were going to be in position for second.
Yeah, Tara and Marissa were just too strong on the runs. They're both fantastic sprinters.
And we've got them coming over. Since I got Grayson and Katie, Luke, I'll let you handle this one if you want.
All right, let's do it.
So we'll get in position here. I'm going to hand the one headset over.
I said that I believe in the individual. Perfect. Don't worry. Tara, that one, and then
oh God! Look at those burpees. Look at me dying.
Any form correction, ladies, or do you think those are pretty clean burpees?
I got told mine were great. Look at that jump.
Those are fantastic looking burpees. And, of course, second place right there with Bethany and Heather. Put on a great performance. And then third place with Adrian and Allison, who we kept mispronouncing their names through the entire race. Again, I apologize. Last little bit of a replay. It was bunched right there at the end. That was exciting to watch. But with me right now, I have our 2024 Elite Female Mile Team Champions. Tara, this is your second of the day. Marissa, is this your first world title?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Now, you podiumed last year.
Podium, but not,
with
not
Keaton,
first,
of course. So fantastic performance from both of y'all today. Came within reach of your qualifying time as well, too, because I think we can all agree that this course is not an ideal PR course, but you're just racing to get your competitors, I believe, for just the placement and everything. Walk me through it. How do y'all feel? Do we feel accomplished?
I'll let you go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tired.
Yeah, you look tired. Yeah.
I would say I feel accomplished. I mean, I was just telling her this is the race that I was most excited for. It was cool to qualify for Elite, but I knew that wasn't really going to be my field to do anything. But this one I was really excited for. So it feels great.
Awesome. Now, was there any idea as far as competition-wise, toeing the line, that you felt like maybe you had to go away from the strategy that you had, or did y'all keep the same strategies you spoke about beforehand throughout the entire race?
We kept the same strategy.
Yeah, we didn't change it.
This is the strategy we used when we got the world record.
Okay.
So we knew it worked. And, obviously both came off racing the mile, so we were a little bit more tired than when we ran. A
little shorter time of rest recovery, right? Yeah.
Time. But I think overall it was a good race. We executed the way we wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, are we competing as a team tomorrow for the strong,
No,
or
she ditched me for Kayla Short? So.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I'm tired of being the strong person.
Okay, so
I don't want to be the strong or the agile person.
Okay, all right.
So she's got Kayla Short. If Karen can run, I'll be with Karen Deidre tomorrow.
And that will be in the elite field as well. Okay, so the mile team champs going against each other tomorrow. I guess let's just have some friendly competition. Who's taking the dub over each other? Someone three-peating tomorrow?
I think I'll give it to her. I'll give it to her.
We're going for a 4-peat tomorrow.
I was about to say, are you competing individually tomorrow? Okay.
Yes.
Now, Tara, I wanted to ask: what was the reasoning for not being a part of the fit yesterday?
So I had a stroke 8 weeks ago.
That's right.
And my recovery has just not been the way I would like it to compete in 5 events in one weekend.
Sure.
And the fit was probably, judging off the field, like my weakest event. So it's just pure strategy to do my best at the events that I was best at over the weekend.
And speaking of that, how do you feel? I mean, do you feel like this is now your road to recovery? I mean, do you kind of feel like old prime Tara, or is it getting close at least?
Well, I've ran 5 seconds off the world record for the strong 3 weeks after my stroke. So
remarkable.
But I was sore for like 3 to 4 days.
Okay.
So that was my only concern about going into the weekend, is like over soreness, because there were people that I was like worried about coming in too trashed that I could give up spots other places.
Right.
And I just wanted to put myself in the best position to perform.
Yeah.
In my best
So you
events.
feel like your output is about the same, but your recovery might be just slightly different. And
Yes.
considering that we were doing 3 days of racing, very smart move on your end, because clearly it paid off, because you went 2 for 2 today, and again, hopefully tomorrow 2 for 2 as well for that. But Tara, that's awesome. It's good to see you out here, of course, too, because you are definitely Miss DEKA. You are the most decorative DEKA athlete, I think, out of any athlete, male and female. So it's awesome to see you just add more world titles to your name and stuff too. And I'm glad you're healthy, and I'm glad you're doing okay. So, but Marissa, your first world title.
Yep.
You said you're excited, but just how excited? Do we go, okay, I can retire, I'm happy, I can do this, or is it, hey, let's keep bringing them?
Oh, definitely not retire. I'm too young. Too young. I feel like I'm still getting started in this field.
Yeah,
or
I
in
believe
this sport. So
97. She was born in
97.
Oh, yeah, you're a baby. Yeah.
About me earlier. But yeah, I got some time and some room to grow. So
awesome.
The elite field was a nice taste, and I want to come back. So.
And was that your first individual elite race?
Okay. This Keaton unfortunately got hurt, so I kind of had to transition from relay base to individual. So I only got about 6 months of individual work. And then just kind of ran with it. So,
and that's awesome, because you're also diving into high rocks as well too, right?
Yeah.
So you seem to be doing more on the hybrid scene and stuff. And obviously you are deemed as the queen of the box overs, and you have been showcasing that all weekend so far. I'm excited to see it more in the strong when it really plays into effect, right?
That's probably when I could get my quickest in. So we'll see what I can do tomorrow.
No, I love that. So
that's where it pulled ahead too.
Yeah,
the box.
Boxes is
the box overs.
It's the weapon. It's the weapon.
It is.
Works.
Yeah, and the fact that you did the run into it was also an interesting strategy. Actually, if you did the run, you did the lunges, and then went right back in the run.
Yeah.
Was the strategy just so you can go all out on the 500? I assume for the rower.
It makes no sense for me to get on the rower when she's pulling. So.
And even with that transition time, you think it still would have been?
It makes no sense. And then for me, be able to be fresh for the boxes to do.
Sure.
That's like a 10-second gap right there.
Right.
Well, I feel like even if we switch, like I'm rowing like 136, 138.
Wow.
So, so if we switch, like it's a few seconds switch over, stuff can happen when you
switch.
Right.
You never know.
You never know. And she's so quick on the run that, like, I think that we try to play out like equal work to rest time.
Right.
So those are our longest stretches of like having to actually rest. So she gets a long rest when I row.
Right.
And then I get that longer rest too. After she does the run in the box.
Well, considering you'll hold the world record and now you're officially the world champs, I would say that was a very smart strategy. So, Tara, Marissa, thank you all so much for doing the interview, and congratulations on your first place finish. And I'm excited to watch you all go head to head tomorrow. So
it'll be interesting.
Awesome.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, Keaton Dillings, yeah. Don't worry, I just said it, so it's on there. Xander, you want to get this next? Are you sure? Okay. Okay, that's fair. All right, we're about to get our second place finishers. All right, we have our second place finishers to the Elite Female DEKA Mile World Championships. Heather and Bethany, congratulations.
Thank you.
How are we feeling? Do we feel accomplished for at least podium finish? Obviously we wanted to win, but do we feel accomplished because this is now your second podium of the weekend?
Yeah.
How are we feeling?
Really good.
Good?
Really good.
Good.
We knew that Tara and Marissa would be tough to beat. They
Sure.
were going to be super fast. So we're happy with
Good.
second.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, as far as this being your second podium of the weekend, are we teaming up for the Strong at all tomorrow as well? Or
We are.
okay, awesome. Now, was this last year also?
No.
Okay, so this will be the first time I believe we'll see you doing the Strong together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
We did the fit last year, and then this
which
year,
y'all won, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we decided this year we'd have some fun and do all three, so you could
Yeah.
get 3 podiums.
Absolutely. Is there any individual races y'all are doing, or just going all in on teams?
I did the Elite Mile.
That's right.
and then-
Yep.
And
that's right.
I'm doing Elite Strong.
Okay,
individual.
perfect. Awesome.
Mhm.
In which you had a great showing as well today for that as well. Now, knowing that you're doing 2 races in a shorter recovery time, was there a moment where you felt like you had to back off just a bit because knowing maybe the team aspect and how much of more of a threshold output you have to perform? Or does it
Yeah.
mentally play into effect, or do you just give it everything you got
No,
each race?
it did a little bit, and I think just because I wasn't feeling fantastic,
Okay.
so I didn't go to the well in the Elite Mile because this one was really more important to me and
Sure.
with Heather, so it wasn't my best showing. And yeah, it does play into like, there was moments where I'm like, I didn't push maybe as hard as I would have if it was my only race.
Right,
for
right.
Sure. Yeah.
Unless there was something in reach that you
Yeah,
maybe,
and
sure.
I wasn't
Yep.
I wasn't close to podium or anything, so
Sure.
like it's okay.
You were close. You were close.
No, I wasn't.
Close is subjective. So,
Yeah.
well, Heather, speaking of that, I mean, because you'll be doing, I assume, elite individual then tomorrow.
Yeah.
Will that be the same scenario, or do we just give it everything we got, or are you coming in as one of the top seeds, or?
I really don't know where I'm placed.
Okay.
No, Heather's gonna smash it tomorrow. She's not holding back for me.
I believe it.
It'll depend. I'll probably go to the well to the bike and
Okay.
depend on positioning. I mean, if I'm off podium, then I'm not gonna
Sell it too
hurt
much.
myself. Yeah.
Sure, and
But-
getting ready for the teams and everything.
Yeah. But within podium reach, yeah, I'll give it
Okay,
everything I have.
which is what I want to bring up next. You just mentioned the bike. Okay,
Yeah.
that strategy, was that something y'all coordinated beforehand, or was that an audible call saying, hey, I need you to take over the bike? Because obviously we say it every time when we're on here, you obviously destroy the assault bike.
Yeah.
You're better than half the men's field of the assault bike. But was that a strategy going into that, or was
Yeah.
that an audible?
So when we do the DEKA fit, I get almost a 2-minute rest break.
Right.
So I can do the bike in under 60 seconds. With 30-second rest break, I can't do the
Different
bike
story.
in
Right.
in under 60. So together, I was like, if you can just give me 5 cows, we split it sub 60 seconds.
Mhm.
By myself, I probably would have been 110.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah,
and then it
so-
just takes so much out of you, and then there's not really enough rest to
Right,
recover. So
right.
just the race as a whole, it makes more sense
For
for me
sure.
just to take a little bit of it.
Is that a strategy going into the Strong tomorrow as well, or is it just short enough to where you can just take the entire bike? Or I don't know if you want to showcase or share
we
that.
haven't even
of course.
talked
honestly
about
haven't
it.
talked about it. We're doing
Yeah.
it one day at a time.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that's good. I like
Yeah,
that
so-
actually.
Yeah, we talked last night. We're like, we should probably figure out what we're gonna do tomorrow.
But yeah, probably because I'll get 0 rest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Um,
Yeah,
so
because
probably.
the time and recovery in between each race is just getting shorter and shorter with
Yeah.
each weekend,
Yeah.
considering obviously
Yeah.
the race distances are shorter. So that'll be exciting to see what the strategy is then, because Xander and I always discuss it. You never know what the team's mindset is going into it. Everyone's different. Everyone has a different type of, specialized in, such as obviously stronger to station, strong in the running.
Yeah.
Y'all are a very Kevin Gregory and other team type team, right? You're like that rare 1%, I always say, or the exclusive club that's very good at that. But it's awesome to always see you on a run, and it's awesome always to see you crush a station as well too. So it's good that y'all blend well together, and y'all have do y'all train together or?
No, she lives in
No.
Canada. I'm in Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay, so that
But we
explains the
talk
half
almost
Canadian.
every single day. So
Yeah.
like even just knowing what Heather's doing and like it's so motivating to me. So we do like we talk a lot about we keep in touch. So we don't
Okay.
train together, but like she's definitely a motivator.
Because
for me.
considering the amount of years y'all have done teams together and the accomplishments y'all have, I don't think y'all have missed the podium as a team,
Not
right?
in the fit, no.
Yeah.
We met the first year in 2022 when
Was
we
this-
won the fit world.
What about the mile?
We've never done it.
No, we've never
Okay,
done the mile.
well, you're 1 for 1 on that.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
the strong, I'm sure we'll be 1 for 1 on that as
Yeah,
well too.
hopefully.
So, you can arguably say that even though y'all don't train together, y'all are obviously a great combo and a great duo, and you're a threat every time you toe the line to the start line as well too. So, very exciting stuff. So, but lastly, I'll send you off. I mean, other than second place, are we obviously gunning for the win tomorrow? Do we want a win underneath our belt? Or are we just happy to be here and
We're
going with the flow?
going for podium.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
We'll say
Podium's
that.
good. All right, that's good enough. So, Bethany, Heather, congratulations,
Yeah,
and thank
thank
y'all for
you.
doing the interview, and excited to see y'all tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Awesome. Great job, ladies. All right, we got one last team. Come on in, ladies.
All right, I don't know what I'm going to say.
All right. Just say the most obscure thing. Go ahead and put it on your headsets if you don't mind.
All our sweaty heads
Our
have been
sweaty
on
heads?
Yeah, no, it's fine. Those chairs have been marinating sweat all weekend. So,
Yum.
okay, this is Adrian and Allison,
Yeah.
correct?
Well, Allie.
Allie, okay.
I used my legal name when I signed up for this. But
Perfect.
I never go by Allison.
Perfect. I'll take it. Allie it is.
Yeah.
Because I will be real honest, and I'll just go ahead and say it. Xander and I were not too familiar with y'all, and we were asking people from home to chime in and tell us who is wearing what to help us out. And the whole time you were wearing another similar color to a team K-Squared, the Kristen team. So I just was saying y'all were the K-Squared the team the whole time.
That's fine.
Until, of course, the top 10 popped up, and then I changed it completely. So I apologize about that. So when you do go rewatch this, of course, you're going to just be another name. But
It's all right.
But considering y'all finished ahead of them, maybe you can deem yourself as Team K-Squared right now. So
We're the A team.
The A team. I like it.
There you
A
go.
squared. I like it. Okay, well, are we new to the sport? Is this our second DEKA mile? Have we been a part of the World Champs before, or age group? What? Walk me through it. It seems like new faces.
Yeah. Okay, so I qualified last year as individual for mile. I didn't go.
Okay.
And then this year, I kind of was a little burned out because we do CrossFit.
Okay.
So I know her from because we go to the same CrossFit gym, or we used to go to the same CrossFit gym. So we do CrossFit workouts, and the running workout, she beat me by 10 seconds.
Hey.
So I'd be like, this girl, she would be really good at this.
Uh-huh.
So I talked her into doing a team mile with me in September, and we qualified.
Wow.
She was just like, come
yeah,
do
the
it.
second fastest qualifying time coming in.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I was like, I think Adrian would be really good at this stuff. And she was.
Awesome. Yeah, y'all are fantastic. Now you can consider yourself podium world champ athletes. I mean, that's fantastic. Where are we residing at? What state, city? Boise, Idaho. Okay, yeah. Get all the potatoes. I love it. So
everybody says that.
Yeah, well, I just had to.
Everybody knows the potatoes.
Well, are we happy with third place?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, very
Okay.
happy.
Yeah.
We
Great.
were just like, we're gonna go have fun. We're just
Sure.
gonna,
That
like,
was the
do
goal. Yeah. Have
And
fun.
was this the second ever time y'all have done a DEKA mile team together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you only have done the qualifying time.
Yeah.
Now, has the strategy changed between since then, or was
No.
it exactly the same?
No.
No.
We like talked about it last night, and then we were like, we think we did this the first time we did it, and it worked. So we were like, let's just do it again.
Yeah.
I know in some cases a lot of things change because obviously you guys got a taste of Tara Jackson and Marissa Pope, who are Tara Jackson is the most decorative DEKA female athlete of all time. So it's like you got a little bit of taste of that type of caliber competition. So I didn't know if maybe going into it, if you had a certain strategy, but if one was maybe stronger on another station, you were like, hey, let me take over because maybe we can make up some ground here or anything.
She does like all the DEKA stuff, like the box hopovers
Okay.
and all that.
Yep.
They kind of have some like
Yeah, you're
strategy.
new to it. I could tell. Yeah.
So we were like, you just do that part, and I'll just run.
I love it.
When
I
those
love it.
ones. That was like our only strategy, and we did that the first time we did it.
Yeah.
Because she was
We
like,
all
these
ran
are the
it.
box step
Yeah.
overs. I was like, you got that.
Yeah, y'all are maybe about 4 or 5 burpees down coming into that final station
We had no
to the
idea.
underdog team. and y'all flew on those burpees. So, and sure enough, claimed the 3rd spot. So, I mean, that was an awesome race to watch. I love seeing new faces and meeting new people in this sport as well, too. Are we going to see y'all in the future? Is there more of A Squared?
We signed up for High Rocks.
Oh,
yeah.
Fun. Okay, yeah, High Rocks is a different animal,
Yeah.
so
we're gonna do some training. I think,
we're gonna train for High Rocks.
that might be smart.
We were like, we didn't really do a ton of training for this, and then we were like, we should probably do something.
Well, the fact that you didn't train for this and y'all are fit enough to at least podium a world championship speaks volumes. So I don't think you have to do too much training.
It's the running. It's the running part.
Well, sure.
We got to run a little bit more, yeah.
So you say CrossFit. Is there any other background in fitness between the two of y'all, or was there collegiate athletes?
I ran track in college, the 400 hurdles.
Oh wow!
But that's the biggest background for me, at least.
Yeah. Well, until now, right?
Until now, yeah.
What about yourself?
College, I just skied and partied.
Oh, far enough.
And
All
I
right,
went to the gym.
It was the partying.
Yeah,
I think it could prepare you. There's certain things. I mean, you kind of feel like crap when you're partying. If you party too hard, you feel like crap out in the DEKA mile. So it translates.
Yeah, it
so.
felt a lot like that. But no, I didn't play any sports in college. I just ski. I just always enjoyed running. I've done like trail running. I've done a couple ultras.
Okay.
Yeah, Boise's great for that. Actually, don't tell. Boise's not that great.
Yeah, it's horrible. Don't
come.
Okay, what about what's the falls? There's a falls.
Idaho Falls.
Shoshone
okay. Shoshone Falls.
It's kind of near Yellowstone, maybe about an hour south.
I don't know.
I
grew up there, but
I might make a trip out there. Anyway, it looks beautiful.
You can come visit.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
but just don't move there.
Yeah.
No, you can. It just we try not to advertise.
Shout out to Idaho.
Yeah, actually,
I hope the governor's watching.
Yeah.
we love it so much.
We're trying to keep the cost of living down.
Yeah,
like,
hey, that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, that's how Texas was, and everyone started moving there. So, well, ladies, congratulations on your 3rd place finish. Again, I love seeing new faces to the sport on that. The fact that you qualified last year, hopefully we see more of y'all in qualifying for more events, because obviously we would love to see you the entire weekend, right? So maybe next year sign up for a fit somewhere locally or at least close to it. That would be a good one. What about strong as well, too? If y'all have a CrossFit background, y'all would be a great strong team as well.
Yeah, there's no running. Well, we might not like that.
We could do it.
You might surprise yourself. So
yeah, you just do all the stations.
You still have to bike, right?
Yeah, we still got to bike.
Still got to bike every time.
Yeah,
there's no escaping it.
Yeah, we could.
Unless you have Allie do it, though.
We could have Allie do it. She starts the bike this time.
Yeah, I didn't start the bike. I was like pedaling. I'm like, why isn't it going down? I'm like, oh yeah. And they told me hit start, but I was afraid I hit it. I was like, don't touch it, don't touch it.
Sure.
And then I started pedaling. I'm like, okay, now is when you touch it. So
yeah, all things that you'll learn in due time as you continue, right, and get a little more experience. So. Well, ladies, if that's the case, best of luck at your next High Rocks race or your first High Rocks race. Yeah, your first one. And I'm hoping to see y'all later down in the DEKA Fit. We would love to commentate and shout y'all out more. So, Team A Squared, not
or
K Squared.
What did we say? A team.
A team.
Subject
Ooh, that's
to change.
good.
We'll have to, converse.
Okay,
we'll
I like
discuss
it.
it,
We'll say A team for now
There we
because
go.
that is pretty good. So, congratulations, ladies. Well
Thank
done.
you so
yes,
much.
absolutely. Thank y'all for doing the interview.
Thanks. Yeah.
It's kind of nice. Yeah. Of course. Good job, ladies. All right. Get Xander back in here. We'll do a little quick send-off.
Absolutely. Got to hear from all 3 of our podium teams. That's pretty cool.
The A Squared A team, Adrian and Allie from Idaho. So, and they're brand new to this. This is the 2nd time they've ever done the DEKA Mile.
Gotcha.
They don't even call the stations by their name, so you can tell they're very new to the sport. So they have very much potential to potentially finish more podiums.
I was going to say, it wouldn't be a race today without an Idaho podium.
Yeah,
we saw Katie Duke and Grayson Kilgore individually. We'll probably see them, I would imagine, on the podium here in about an hour.
Yep.
But yeah, so a great race.
Yeah,
good to hear from all 3 of those teams. And we'll be back on the air in about 45 minutes. So we've got coming up next.
Well, you'll be back on the air.
You'll also be on the air, just in a
fair.
slightly different capacity. So Luke will be competing again,
a different outfit
in the elite co-ed team DEKA Mile. So we're at the 3rd or 4th race, 3rd of the 4 windows coming up next. So again, about 45 minutes from now, we will be back on for the elite co-ed teams, and then about an hour and a half after that, the male team elite DEKA Mile race. So
exciting.
It's been a fun day so far. A lot more action still to come. So we'll see you here on the OCR Report.